Hey, we're here at Largo, Sao Domingos, and we're going to be talking about, well, for one, there's a typhoon right now, Typhoon Lion Rock, so it's kind of wet. It's not very windy at all. It's category 3, so it's not very powerful either, and it's fading out, so it's and it's getting a little bit dark. But today we're going to be talking about COVID in the darkest city in the world, and densest city in the world, sorry. It feels dark because the lights are going to go down a little bit. And we're going to be kind of talking about this around this historic center of Macau, St. Dominic's Church, Sao Domingos. So we got Largo, Sao Domingo right there, and then we have Hua, Sao Domingo, which is this one, and we're just going to stick around this area and talk about this issue. Okay. Go check out the room. Okay, I'm the content creator for this channel. If you like what I'm doing, just subscribe and hit the like button. So COVID in the densest city in the world, and we're just going to be in this kind of touristic area. Just to give you a little bit of sense, this church was made in 1587, and so this area was is actually a little bit less, I don't know, it's dense too. But other parts of Macau are even more dense. But this one has been preserved. This used to be a road. Cars used to travel on that one, and then where that fountain is at way in the back is a place that used to be a roundabout many years ago. But that's changed, and now it's Senado Square. It's all pedestrian, and it's all walking. So I think what we're going to do is kind of walk towards the rain guards here. So we got a little bit of shops in here. So that's our Sao Domingos church right there, and we're just going to walk and stay around this area a little bit, and we're going to talk about the COVID in the densest city in the world. So a couple things, pretty good prices. So we're just going to show you while we walk up and down Hua de Sao Domingos. This might be a different street now. Let's see what this one's called. It's called Largo de Senado. So now we're in Senado, Senado Square. So we're just going to give you a little taste of that. You got some nice dense architecture everywhere. This is pretty common throughout Macau, these nice little alleys like this. But our focus is to be talking about COVID. There's actually a yoga studio up here too. Let me just see. But yeah, that's the entrance to the yoga loft right there, by the way. And you have a little September schedule, which I think things are closing down because of COVID again. You see PT. September, I guess it's October now, so things started closing down a little bit, so I think that might be closing as well. That's one of the frustrations of the COVID in the densest city in the world, is that Macau's been doing a great job containing COVID. Yoga loft is up there. I've been up there before. Anyways, that's a little bit of our, let's go over here. We'll show you a little bit of Senado Square, and then we're going to come back to Sao Domingos, Hua de Sao Domingos and Sao Domingos Square. So yeah, the densest city in the world. On this channel, I like to show you the city, and we're also going to talk a little bit about COVID during this category 3 typhoon that we're experiencing today. So yeah, the densest city in the world, and Macau did an amazing job containing it, because that could have been pretty horrific. But they were able to be one of the forefronting cities to take on. Is that some kind of rain that's building up everywhere? We're actually under a blue storm surge warning, which means that by the coastlines we might get some water coming in from this Typhoon Lion Rock today. It's October 8, I believe. I'll put it in the bottom corner afterwards. Okay, let's get back in here. So yeah, because the COVID was actually, Macau did an amazing job to protect the city and the citizens, especially at the very beginning when it was so confusing what it was. Had this amazing contact tracing program. They have surveillance cameras all over the place. They're still doing it now, a year and a half later, even with all the vaccines available. People aren't taking the vaccines to the degree that they should, as they have been in other cities that are trying to rid their cities of COVID. So Macau is very far behind for a rich country. 45% have been vaccinated at this date, which is kind of unfortunate, because the zero COVID policy was amazing back when there was no vaccine. So they were able to do contact tracing, and they still do it. So even at this date alone, there's just in the newspaper today, I saw that 1,200 bus passes have been suspended because they were on a bus with somebody who contracted COVID. So all those people have to talk to the government, and some of those people get quarantined. There's a lot of people that were quarantined because they were on other buses, and I think there's more that they haven't been able to locate. But some of the things wrong with this policy is that people might start using cash on the buses. They don't want to use their bus cards because, I think at this point, half of the 45% of the city is fully vaccinated. That's our focus today. And so among the 45% that are vaccinated, of course, they don't want to be in quarantine because they've been doing their job as a citizen and as a member of the community to vaccinate themselves and keep themselves safe from other people and to try to get rid of COVID, right? So for them, myself included, I really don't want to be in a quarantine when I'm doing everything right. But of course, I will if that's required of me by the government. Let's try to walk across here. Kind of really raining now. We're gonna try to get across into this little thing here. Okay. Okay. So we're kind of at a nice little dry spot. So yeah, the densest city in the world is doing a great job with vaccines, but with COVID containment, but not so good with vaccinations. And then these days, there's also we're gonna walk in the rain a little bit. Hopefully, we can find somewhere with a little bit of cover. Hopefully. I'll be coming up here in a second. Getting pretty wet here. Okay, I think there's some cover coming up here. So yeah, because of the COVID vaccines, we're continually being locked down. So now a lot of businesses are being hurt more and more all the time because all the small businesses have to close. Bars, entertainment places, everything. Not everything, but actually Macau's doing a pretty good job. There's a lot of stuff that stays open. Here's Zhuhai, Domingos. It's kind of raining quite a bit more, and they kind of got this nice rainy typhoon, post-typhoon kind of weather. Lights are coming down, and it's actually quite nice. But so yeah, so basically this is kind of life in the densest city in the world, and we're kind of in this beautiful area called Zhuhai, Domingos. And yeah, Macau is a beautiful city, dense, but a lot of beauty to it. Lots of little plazas, lots of little stuff. If you become a member of this city, of this channel, you'll see a lot more of that in the future. Okay, let's try to get over on that side. There we go. So that's our focus right down there. So that's Zhuhai, Domingos, and also Domingos Church. And we're talking about COVID in the densest city in the world. And let's just kind of stay here and talk about it a little bit. But basically, there's a lot of COVID inequality, vaccine inequality. There's people like Duterte looking for vaccines. A lot of countries, especially poor countries, they have no access to vaccines. The rich countries are hoarding it. Macau, Hong Kong are contributing to the hoarding of it. They bought all their vaccines immediately back in February and March. Very few people took it initially. Now there's like 45% about 8 months later. So that means that they threw away lots of vaccines because they, same in Hong Kong, they have the same issue. Is only about half the people are fully vaccinated, less than half here and a little bit more than half. I think it's 55 there and 45 here, I think, as of today, which you'll see in the left corner, which is October, which is about 7-8 months after the vaccines were given to the world. So because of that policy, it's really hurting the economy in the city. And they need to be giving those vaccines to other people. They're kind of hoarding them. And then they throw them away because they're not using them, which is pretty awful. But anyways, as far as COVID in the city, it's actually pretty good. We're open. It's really raining now. We're open to within the city itself, with some things closed down and some lots of people being quarantined with contact tracing and things like that. We've had 3 massive rounds of testing where they tested everybody for NAT for COVID. I also do this for recording all this stuff just for future information when people want to look at Macau at this time in the COVID era. So I'm trying to give them all this information. But yeah, we had 3 rounds of massive testing as of today's date, which is October 8th. But they're not. There's still a lot of people that are not vaccinated as well, so it's a little bit unfortunate. And but overall, I think things are pretty good. Some of the other stuff, just to record for future, is that no foreigners have been allowed into the city for 1.5 years. But we'll have lots of Chinese mainland tourists, so they kind of cater towards China. So they can come in as much as they want all the time as tourists and come to the casinos. Casinos don't really go under. So Sands, there was one of the COVID victims statistics was at Sands Casino, but that is fine. They're not closing that, but they're closing pretty much everywhere else he went, including some lesser known hotels that don't have big casinos and stuff like that. So we're kind of dealing with an interesting dynamics. Hopefully they would just get everybody vaccinated. Hopefully that could change. Maybe in the near future that could actually be a big thing that they might do. And then we could all go back to normal again. But at this moment, the densest city in the world, Macau, is doing a great job of preventing people from getting COVID. But if they really, really want to do the next step and bring the economy back, they really need to get people vaccinated. And they just came out today that they're not going to ease up on their zero COVID policy until they have 80 to 90% vaccinated. But when I look at the statistics, it looks like that's like 6 months away because even though it's a small population compared to what other countries are trying to vaccinate, they're just not really doing enough to get people to vaccinate. So anyways, that's life in the densest city in the world of Macau. And this is also Domingos. So hope you liked seeing a little bit of the city as well, and make sure you make some comments below about it as well. 2021, and vaccinations are all over the world. But there's a lot of inequality with it. I just want to show you real quick. So I just want you to see this number right here. That means that per 100 people, and that means there's two doses, two vaccinations. So divide this number in half. So you can see that UAE is more than 100% vaccinated. Basically, it could be a little bit less because this could be like booster shots involved with this one. Cuba is almost 100%. I don't know, they're vaccinating their kids, maybe the boosters. But basically, you can see this right here, reached. So all these ones are reached. Even like places like Cambodia, 70, you can divide this 144 in half. So now let's go down to Macau. I just want to give you a little perspective, right? So here's, look at these numbers are moving, right? Japan, Malaysia, they're moving pretty well. But we're going to watch, South Korea is moving pretty fast, Turkey, and then we're going to get down to Macau, and the United States is moving pretty fast too. So yeah, this is caught in time, live time, and here's Hong Kong. So it's like, come on, 50, it's like less than 66%, 114 days. All those other ones that have reached their quota already, the wealthy countries. Macau is down here below Brazil. Brazil has a better vaccination rate with all those people that they have. And here's Macau. So Macau has, right now it says 53% are fully vaccinated. Well, actually 45% are fully vaccinated, and then a bunch of them have the first vaccine. So, and then when you look at these numbers, right, it's just like not even moving, but, some of the other countries definitely are, There's Hong Kong as well. So they're kind of stationary. So it's a little bit frustrating. And then when I look here, Macau says 61 days, Hong Kong 114 days. Like, they want to be fully vaccinated. Everybody wants to be fully vaccinated, but look how far behind they are, and then all these other ones above it. So so that's basically, let's get up to the reached one. So these are at 70% already. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm talking about today when I'm talking about Macau is quite far behind in the vaccinations. Chiquinha, Chiquinha.